Happy Friday. We made it through another week. 2 weeks from today is Christmas Day, which is exciting. We are closing in on the end of Unit 3. We'll get through about 3 units for this first half. We're going to go a lot faster in the second half, I'll tell you that. What are we doing today? We're going to compare some linear functions. Wednesday we talked about what it meant to be a function. Thursday we talked about what it meant to be linear, and realized that the things that we've been talking about this whole time with slope and slope-intercept form are all linear functions. So today we want to look at two of them and be able to mostly tell the two important things that we've been talking about this whole time: slopes, y-intercepts. So we know how to do that in an equation. We know how to do that in a graph. There's something I need to show you in a table. So, let's say we had this table here, right? Well, I know that yesterday we said we could check and see if this was a linear function. It's definitely a function because all the x's are different. And we can check what its slope is and see if it has a constant slope, right? So this goes up 4 when this goes up 1. And what you should see here is this always is going to go up 4 as this always goes up 1. So therefore my slope here is 4, or 4 over 1, right? But one thing that you might have trouble finding here is the y-intercept. So how do we know, if I'm looking at a table, which value is going to give me the y-intercept, my starting point? You can see why that would be important, right? So here's what I'm thinking. If I look at a graph like so, what do I know about these points that are on the y-axis here? Well, any of those points are going to have an x value that's 0. It's not going over anything. It's just going up and down, right? So what I want to look for on a table of values is, where is the x 0? Well, I don't see that spot, right? I only see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, what we can do here, we kind of have two options. One for you guys because you don't know the other math. So what we're going to do here is we're going to work backwards in our table and figure out what it would be when x is 0. If we can find that x is 0 spot, we know that that has to be our y-intercept. So, for example, let's work backwards a little. What if x was 3? Well, if it goes up 4 this way, it's going down 4 this way. So that would be the point 3,5. And I can keep going. 2. Well, that would be back 4 again. That'd be 1. 1. Go back 4 again. That would be -3. And then 0. That's the point we want. And if I went back 4 again, then we can see that that would actually be -7. So our y-intercept here is -7. And now we can do some things now that we know the slope and the y-intercept, right? We can write it as an equation. We can graph it if we wanted to. All that good stuff. So now that I've shown you that, every graph, every table, and every equation, you guys should be able to tell me the slope of it, the y-intercept of it, right? We should be able to do that stuff. So what do we want to do because of that? Well, let's say I gave you the equation y equals -3x plus 2. We'll call that function A. And then function B is going to be the table, so we'll call this A. And B is going to be this table here. And it looks like this. All right. So what you're going to have today is two functions, maybe 3, maybe 17, whatever. And I want to be able to compare them. So what I'd like to know is which one of these has the higher slope, the bigger number slope. And which one has the biggest initial value. What you'll find is these are very popular questions on your air test. They'll give you a couple functions and then they'll say which one has the biggest slope. Basically testing your knowledge, can you find the slope of all of these things? So what we want to do if we want to compare these things is first we want to figure out those two main things. So in our equation, I see that it's in slope-intercept form. If it wasn't in slope-intercept form, that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to rewrite it, rearrange it, write it in slope-intercept form. So now you should be able to tell me the slope here. Well, that's the one in front of x, so that's -3. And my y-intercept here is +2. Cool. That's the numbers we need to know. Now we'll go to the table of values, right? We want the same two things. So my slope in B, well, we can figure out the rate of change by doing this, right? This looks like it's going up 2, up 2, up 2. Does this go up 1 every time? It sure does. Up 1, up 1. So that's going to be 2 over 1, or just 2. And remember, if you know it's a linear function, you could just use your slope formula there, right? Pick 2 points. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you can see how we get 2 over 1. We can do it that way too. And then for the y-intercept here, we don't have x as 0. So we're going to go back 1 to 0. And if we did, that would go back, how many? 2. -1 minus 2 is going to be -3. So the higher slope is going to be the table. It's going up 2 and over 1, right? It's positive. The higher y-intercept is going to be the equation, function A. That's pretty much it. If we can find those slopes, find the y-intercepts, then we're golden there. That's all we got to be able to do. Let's try one more together, okay? I know it's Friday. I won't keep you long. I'm sure you got some wrapping to do, right? How about, let's see what we got. Function A is going to be this graph right here. I guess I could have drawn it a little bit bigger for you guys. I'm sorry about that. And let's see, there's that. And it goes. We have this line, that's function A. As you can see, it's going to pass the vertical line test, so it's definitely a function. And then we have function B. And it is an equation, y equals 1/2 x minus 1. And then we have function C, which is going to be this table of values. All right. So we want to know which one has the highest slope out of the 3. Which one has the highest y-intercept? Cool. We can do that. So for each one, let's go through. Let's figure out the slope. Let's figure out the y-intercept. Let's start over here with the graph. We see that it's a linear function. It's a straight line. That means that it would be written in slope-intercept form. So that shouldn't be too bad. Easiest thing to start with is probably the y-intercept, right? Where's across the y-axis? Right here at +1. So that's our b. Now my slope, let's say you struggle counting. Let's use 2 points and find it then. So we know that point is 0, 1. Let's use this point right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 6, 3. All right, cool. Let's find our slope. So we got y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's going to give me 2 over 6, which simplifies to 1 over 3. So my slope up here is 1/3. My y-intercept is 1. There's my information for the graph, okay? Over to the equation. This should be pretty easy also, because it is also in slope-intercept form. So my slope is always the coefficient of x. In this case, we got 1/2. My y-intercept is that number at the end. That's the constant. This time it is -1. So that's easy, only because it's in slope-intercept form, right? If it wasn't in slope-intercept form, we don't know any of that information, and we would have to, rewrite it and do all that stuff. So that's nice if it's in slope-intercept form. If it's not, this board's getting a little busy, isn't it? Let me circle what we need. There's that, there's that. Okay. And then down here, for function c, if we want to find our slope, let's look at our rate of change, what's going on. This looks like it's going up 3. This looks like it's going up 1. Up 3, up 1, right? Up 3, up 1. Cool. So it looks like our slope here is just going to be 3 over 1. Or we could have just found 2 points and done our slope formula, right? However, we don't know our y-intercept yet because we don't see where x is 0. So we're going to have to go back to 0, which would make this go backwards 3. And 3 minus 3 is going to give me 0. So it looks like this one starts at the origin. It's a proportional relationship, huh? It has a slope and it goes through 0, 0. So when we're comparing which one has the highest slope, 1/3, 1/2, and 3, I think my winner down here is function C, has the highest slope. Now when we're looking at y-intercepts, we got 1, we got -1, we got 0. So +1 is going to be my highest starting point. And that's it. We're just comparing. These are great problems. If you get good at these ones, you're going to be in great shape when your test rolls around here right before Christmas. Okay? You guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Have fun. Bake some cookies. I baked cookies tonight. I don't know if you can see in my kitchen over there. I ate one. It was pretty fantastic. They're my wife's favorite cookies. So, and I told them we had to save some for Santa. So 2 weeks from tonight, I'm sure that they'll still be good and nice and soft, and he will enjoy them with a. That's a lot of milk. You know how people say you can't drink like a whole gallon of milk in like an hour? If you're drinking like a glass of milk at like everyone's house, I'm just saying. Good thing that dude's not lactose intolerant. All right. That was enough holiday joy for everyone. Have a great weekend. No one's probably going to watch this anyway, so who cares? Later.